So we want to welcome to the African History Network show, Shahrazad Ali. Hotep, sister, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very fine, brother. Thank God. I'm doing good.
Oh, absolutely. Assalamu alaikum. And, absolutely. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And I met you before a few years ago here. You were here in Detroit. Frankie Darcell did an excellent conference, and I sat in on one of your workshops, and I read your book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, back in college. I don't remember the exact year that it came out, but I have my original copy.
Yeah.
That's
original
good.
Copy. That's good. Those are collector's items now.
Yeah, I read it, and it got me into a lot of arguments back in college, too. but you have some good information.
Well,
and for those...
go
ahead, sister.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was just going to say it went through so many universities. It was required reading, a reading requirement in over 50 colleges and universities. And that was, that was all of the schools, including Harvard. Because we had never had a study of the motivations and behavior of a black woman. We have been so protected and insulated regarding our reputations. And so that was the first time there had been any study that men could actually study.
And, it was, I encourage everybody to read it, men and women. And the thing, and we're going to move to tonight's topic in just a minute, which is, can we survive without the white power structure feeding us? But I encourage everybody, male and female, African-American male and female, to read the book. Because what I found was that back in the day, a lot of women were commenting about the book and disagreeing with it, but had not read it. So,
just the idea.
I read it.
They didn't have to read it. It was just the idea that they heard about it. That was enough to frighten us.
They saw you on Donahue and they went off. Or they saw Kima Crystal on In Living Color imitating you, and they went off. So,
do you know that people still getting that today? They are still buying that and looking at that today. That episode, that was so funny. Now that's when you know you have made it, when they do a parody of you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
so sister, it's just a pleasure. I appreciate your work, and back in the day, and what happened was I became conscious in college. So my degree's in business administration. Okay, imagine that. So I'm in business school with all these Europeans, but I'm studying African history and culture. So it caused a problem when it came time to choose a mate, because, a lot of the students at college campus, their mind is not conscious. So, I said, if I go find a sister like Shahrazad Ali to marry, I'll be, that'll be a dream come true.
Listen, I still run into sisters who tell me, my husband loves you. They just tell me straight out, hey, my husband loves you, okay?
Yes.
But
and
I
was
agree
so
with
glad.
you, brother.
Go ahead. Sister.
I was going to say that I agree with you that it is a good book for men and women, even if they read it together. The only thing that I didn't tell people was to read it slow, because if you get that and you rush home and read that all in one evening, you're going to go ballistic. And so it's best just to read a little bit. But it was good for mothers and sons, brother. But that has all changed now. Women buy that book for their bridesmaids. Men buy it for their sons and grandsons. I had one brother bought it for the entire police force down south. So they have really used it. That has turned around. In fact, as you and I both know, the things I talked about 20 years ago, that was mild compared to the condition today.
Absolutely.
That was real mild. It sounded like it was rough then, but that was nothing compared to what's really going on.
You're right about that, sister. So a lot of that information, it turned out that you were right on it when we look back.
After I got beat up so bad. Ugh.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we know October 26th you're going to be in St. Louis. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show, and I've been announcing it, and I'll be down in St. Louis as well, so I get to see you again.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, maybe the newer generations, first found out about you in Hidden Colors, The Untold History of People of African Original, more African descent, and then maybe they went back and read the book. But we have Shahrazad Ali on, author, lecturer tonight. Tonight's topic is, can we survive without the white power structure feeding us? Okay, can we survive without the white power structure feeding us? Now, we just want to let people know very quickly, and then we'll get into the conversation here. Our chat room is wide open. Join us at blogtalkradio.com/The African History Network Show, blogtalkradio.com/The African History Network Show, and you can listen to the show there as well. You can go to our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, like you always do. The link is there also. And you can listen by phone. So if you have to go to work tonight and you don't want to miss the conversation, or you want to call in with questions, call us at area code 914-338-1375, 914-338-1375. Press the number 1 key to put you in queue so we can bring you on the air. And be sure to turn down the computer in the back, listen to the phone. Jot down your questions so we can get through them expeditiously. We're not going to have time for manifestos and dissertations tonight, okay? We're not going to have time, and please, no marriage proposals for Shahrazad Ali either. Okay, so with that, so sister, tell us about this. The other day I talked to you and I said, well, what do you want to talk about? You said, can we survive without the white power structure feeding us? So how did you come up with this topic?
Well, I'm constantly studying our condition and what we're doing, what our trends are, because everything that we do is trendy. It's very few things that we hold on to in a consistent way. We do it for that moment, no matter how important it is. That's in regard to what we're talking about politically, socially, economically, if it's our history, if it's something great or something bad or whatever. We don't tend to hold it very long. We have that problem of collective amnesia, and so we're not able to stay focused for a very long time. But I started looking at our condition of being so overweight, and I recognized that with this shutdown that the white people claim they just had, that this is getting ready to affect the food stamp distribution, which many of our people rely on for food and for a medium of exchange in the marketplace, period. And so I started looking at that, and I recognized that the Asians have a food path. When I say a food path, I mean they have a link or a system set up where either they can prepare and grow their own food here, or they have an importation system set up. All of these cultures tend to import their food in. The Asians have a food path. The Latinos have one. Even the Africans that have come here have one. And, of course, the white people have one. And when you go into these different people's stores, these different nationalities, you see their own labels. You see things that have been manufactured in their own countries. And everybody has a food path. They bringing in seafood and even meat and canned goods and dry goods and everything. But water, I think, at this point, they may even be bringing that in. I don't know about it. But we are the only people here in America who don't have a food path. These other nationalities trade food with each other, or they have their own food. If you go into a Latino store, and I have done this investigation in different cities, they got all the stuff in there that they eat. They got all of the vegetables, all of the canned goods, all the meats, whatever it is, they got their own type of food that their culture eats. So do the Asians. They have huge supermarkets, and all of that food was not manufactured here. They have a food path where they can get food into themselves independent of the American government, okay? We are the only people here in America, the fattest people, but we are the only people here who don't have a food path. If these stores that I just mentioned stop selling us food, we are really messed up because we don't have a food path. At
I've been asking that question for years, too. Go ahead, sister.
Yeah, we don't have any way to get food in here. We just run to their stores, and as I said, and right now across the country, because of the economics and people being strung out on different habits between alcohol and drugs and tobacco and different things, a lot of the grocery stores are closing in our communities. And there are black people out here who are begging them and telling the white people, you all don't have a right to take the stores out of our communities. We want a good store, as if the store dropped down out of the sky. The store was just a business plan and something somebody sat down, and put together and operated. But we are so dependent. We don't produce anything, but we are so dependent on them for everything. And it just occurred to me that if they did have a government shutdown and shut the stores, these other nationalities have food distribution systems set up within their own communities where they could feed their own kind. We don't have anything.
Correct.
Okay? So what we would do is go on a suicide mission. That mission would be to try to take it from the people that do have it. And all of those other nationalities have systems set up to prevent us from doing that. Because they understand how important food is. Food is what sustains life.
Correct.
We're not going to be able to live without food, and we need a food path. Now, we have had many leaders over the years, and very few of them have dealt with food. And as I said, food is what sustains life. And even down to today, now we know that food is also what causes death. It depends on what you eat, how often you eat it, how you prepare it to eat it, and whatever's in it, and all of those kind of things. And that's stuff that we kind of take for granted. As I said, that's why our people have become so bloated and so fat and so big that we have had to change our outlook and decide that being fat is what looks good.
Exactly.
And so that's with
being
the men.
comfortable.
Yeah, the men got big old bloated bellies hanging out, and the women got big old bloated bellies and butts hanging out. Everybody looks the same, and that's and even the little children in the schools are overweight. They get this early diabetes and different stuff. And as I said, the only person that I recall that had a food path started that was set up to feed us was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad back in the 50s and 60s, okay? And he was importing fish from Peru. He was importing chickens and some rice and other things and trying to start the farms in the South. Well, as a result of different administrations coming in, all of that got canceled and ended. And I think now they may have, under Minister Farrakhan, I think they do have a couple of farms left, but they're too far away and not enough to feed all of us, And we would all be fighting and scrapping over that if it happened. But I just think that that's something that we need to look at. And we're not doing anything about that. We're just dealing with business. The people that are out here, trying to do something are dealing with business and stock and politics and a whole lot of other things, but they're not a foundational thing like food or water.
Right. So we need to get back to agriculture and understand.
And that's something that we have tended to be ashamed about and of. We look down on the farm, and all the food that people eat on the earth have to come out of the earth. There's no food coming from anywhere else. Now, white people have manufactured so much artificial food, and that's part of what's killing us, too. The food in America about our conditions, we don't know why all of us got diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease and arthritis, but almost all of us have it or get it. We're going to get it, when you start to your 40s, 50s, and 60s, and that's a serious thing that we need to look at. What are we putting in our bodies that contributes to this? Do you know that there's a bunch of food in America that other countries will not accept? They can't even export and sell it. And we eat it every day. Yeah, we eat this food every day. We feed it to our children and our babies, our husbands and wives and parents. This is garbage that we eat. And I passed by a Checkers the other day, and they had a big sign up. And it said you could get a hot dog for $1. You could get a cheeseburger for $1, or you could get a chicken sandwich for $1. So there's no impetus these days for a lazy mother to cook any food. Not if you can just take your 3 children somewhere and get them a $1 burger each.
Right.
Come out there and you ain't spent but $5 or $6. You understand what I'm saying? They are making it so that most people are eating out. And as a result of that, the unintended consequence, as they say, is that the grocery stores are closing because nobody's shopping to cook.
Exactly. And people eating the garbage and eating crack Donalds and Murder King. And, I talk about how, one of the things I do is when I go shopping, grocery shopping, I look at the people who are grocery shopping, and then I look at overweight people, and I look at what's in their basket. And
Me
then
too.
If I see an
That's
overweight
exactly
child,
what I do, right?
if I see an overweight child, I try to find the parent, and usually the parent's overweight also, because the child is eating the same food the parent is eating for the most part. And then you look in their basket, and you see why. So, we have to realize. I talk about how. See, I'm a vegetarian, so at one point I'm about I gained a little weight back, but I was at one point I was about 215. I blew up to 215 just from working and not eating right, things like that. And then I became a vegetarian and lost about 45 pounds and got like really back into shape. But one of the things that we have to understand is that the only thing more expensive than good health is bad health. Okay, the only thing more expensive than good health is bad health. Because a lot of people talk about how expensive it is to eat healthy, but not if you do it correctly. And but bad health is much more expensive than good health. Okay, this is what people really have to understand. You get the diabetes, have to have operations, things like this, have higher premium on your health insurance. So people have to realize they are worth investing in. Okay, you are worthy of good health. Good health is not just for the elite. Go ahead.
That's another thing that I've noticed in the grocery stores too, brother, is that when you look at the carts, sometimes we buy the cheapest, the markdowns, the dented, and I recognize that we'll spend more money on our clothes and shoes than we'll spend on our food, as if food is not important. And as I keep saying, food is what sustains life. It determines how long your body is going to be able to thrive, how long you're going to be able to see out of your eyeballs. It's the food. It's what we eat. We're dealing with genetic problems already. So the only way to clear that up is, of course, by eating the proper food, eating it at the proper time. And our children don't know how to eat. They just want to eat junk. And as I said, everybody eating out almost now. And a man, if he don't, if he's not around his mother every once in a while or somebody, it's rare that he can get a good meal, because the men mostly eat as a result of us not being able to get along. Men not able to hardly eat at no woman's house that much. And so everybody eating out.
Right.
And they eating out every day. And when we think about the chemicals and the filth that's in all of that food, all the synthetic growth hormones and the arsenic and everything else, the mercury, all of the other filth that's in the food out here that we're eating, we're destined to be sick. They got to have an Obama health care program, because they know what's coming down the pipe.
Right.
Every 10 years you're going to have a huge new set of people sick. Yeah, so that's big business.
Absolutely.
Just, based upon, as I said, about how we eat. And so I've been just real disturbed about that, just in looking at it. And, we don't know. We go in the grocery store, the people that are in that shopping. We don't even know that the things in the grocery store that have the most pesticides on them are apples and strawberries and celery and bell peppers. Now, that's what black people, that's what we buy. It's got the most pesticides on it. We just go home and rinse that off and start eating and cooking with it. We don't know what to do. We don't know anything hardly, and everything we used to know, like I said, it has not been passed on, and that's the only way information is gone, And this tilapia fish, all of us who have been in America over the past 40 or 50 years, we had never heard the word tilapia. This is something new over the past 5 or 7 years. We all grew up on whiting and croaker, even catfish and different things. But we have never heard the word tilapia. Had you ever heard that word?
Nope.
I mean, we
Nope.
never knew there was no fish nowhere called tilapia.
Right.
So
right. And a lot of that
I'm
stuff
thinking
makes
this
you
is
glad.
something that I'm thinking this is something they manufactured somewhere, and they selling it to us. And, you know, most of the time when you get tilapia, it don't have no skin on it. And so I'm always suspicious when they have to prepare things like that. What was wrong with the skin? You know, if you get salmon and stuff, it's got a skin on it, you know. So
Right.
I look in there, and now we all eating tilapia. But when I figured out that I don't know what this is, I stopped eating it. You know, I said, no, I don't want to eat that because I never heard of a fish called tilapia.
Exactly. And, you know, and on this show, you know, we deal with a number of different issues. We deal with African history, African-American history. We deal with economic empowerment, entrepreneurship. We deal with health issues, relationships, sex, things of this nature, all things politics, all different areas pertaining to African people throughout the diaspora. Okay, so health is extremely important, and you know I teach entrepreneurship, I teach African history, and I synthesize it together. We can't separate economic empowerment and entrepreneurship from African history. But one of the things I do is I teach about the 10 forms of wealth, and I've added 2 more to it, and one of that added is health. And the 10 forms of wealth comes from Dr. Dennis Kimbrough.
You can't do none of those above things. You can't do any of the above things you mentioned if you don't feel good.
Exactly, without your health. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's extremely important. Well, you know, Shahrazad Ali is going to be in St. Louis coming up Saturday, October 26th. Now, those in the St. Louis area and the surrounding states, you definitely want to be here for this, okay? This sister is going to do a fantastic presentation. The Organization for Black Empowerment presents Shahrazad Ali, Shahrazad Ali, The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man, okay? And sisters, you definitely want to come to this. Okay, I know Steve Harvey had his book and his movie. I read his book. He had some good things in there. I didn't agree with everything, but this sister is going to approach it from an African historical perspective, from my understanding. Is that correct, sister?
Well, of course, and the mother is the first teacher. So
yes,
my job as a woman is the birth, nurse, raise children. And to take that further as the mother of civilization, being in the lineage of the first people on the earth, I have a right and I have the authority to be able to come and to teach our people. And I've been very blessed that to reach so many millions of people at this point who have been able to gain some things to help them in their day-to-day life. And that's what the ultimate goal is. You know, a lot of times our people want to be entertained.
Correct.
That's why church is so popular. You know, they want to go somewhere and be entertained and then leave and go back home and pick up where they left off, you know. But I try to give teachings that people can use and incorporate into their day-to-day life in a language that we can understand and things that, you know, we can actually do for ourselves because we are so lazy. We are tired. You know, we are depressed. We have so many issues that we are trying to deal with, and we're confused. I just did a television show a couple of weeks ago in Stamford, Connecticut. I did a show called The Trisha Show. And
Trisha, that's the new show that she's British, I think.
Yes. You know, she married to a white man, too.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, she is very proud of it.
It's the whole scandal phenomenon, this whole swirl.
Well, that's how she get that. That's how she got that job. You know, you have to know somebody up in there. So, but anyway, and the show was on some white people in North Dakota who want to separate, who want to just buy up this little town and just have it with all white people. And of course, you know, all of the black people and the Latino, they was all upset about that. You know, oh, he's a racist, he this and everything. And, of course, I went on the show to explain, yeah, he's got a right to separate. We all going to separate. and we were separated.
They weren't ready for that,
were
they?
No, of course not. I said we were separated in the beginning. It's this nonsense with integration where everybody started getting together. The problem that we had during that first separation was that the white people kept wanting to kill us and not wanting us to make any advancements. And so that was not a good separation. But if we did that now, things would be differently because we have different understandings now, people who would be in leadership positions. And so I tried to talk to them about that. And, the young people on there, God, do they love white people. Oh, my goodness, it is something.
Well, they've been educated by them. That's the problem with sending your children to Europeans to teach them. It's one thing when if they go to college, but in their younger years, they were entrenched with African history and culture and given a firm foundation. Okay, but when you have them in elementary school or middle school and in high school being taught by Europeans, no, you cannot do that. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, black people are the only people that take their most valuable asset, their children, and turn them over to their oppressor to educate.
Yeah.
Okay,
all we have done about it, wait a minute, brother, all we have done about that is complain about it. How long have we been saying, they don't teach our children nothing? Yeah, they practice racism. So what have we done about that? We have done nothing but keep sending them to school. That's all we do is send them every day.
Right.
So now we have to take some responsibility in that. Our white people wouldn't send their children to our school to be educated.
Right. Well, for the most part, absolutely.
And the Asians don't send theirs. I mean, other people don't do that because they know that that's not the way to have a successful generation. But we continue to do that. All the teachers we got, all the administrators we have produced coming out of these schools, these colleges, all of these people, but we still don't have but one or two schools in America.
Right. This is why. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
This is why homeschooling and independent schools are so important because that's the only hope for us. Back in June.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to homeschool our children. As I said, we have enough black educators who should be putting together schools so that we can, but we don't want to pay. Education is expensive. And they're getting ready to demonstrate that. That's what closing all these schools are about. They're shutting them down.
Schools.
Education is getting ready to be a premium.
Right.
Right.
Well, they're
our
privatizing everything.
Yeah,
they're privatizing everything so they can to control the contracts and things of this nature. And what's happening is that since our labor is no longer needed, then the public school systems that miseducated us are no longer needed either. So this is what's going on.
Yeah,
so
but
we don't understand
that's not no new idea, brother. We've been talking that for the past 30 years, 40 years. We've been talking about that situation. And now here we are living in that day. Now that day is here.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that day
I know. That's why
here.
I was at a homeschooling conference this past June with Brother Kaba Kamene, Booker T. Coleman. And these are people who actually have homeschools, teaching how to do it, dealing with curriculum, things like this. And you also have people who, are with independent schools, what have you. But a lot of times the homeschooling can be a transition from the public school while you're getting the independent school together. It may transition.
I'm with it. I'm with either way because we don't have anything. So if it's homeschooling, if it's independent school, whichever it is, if you're teaching them out back in the garage, I'm with it. So I'm not against any of that. I'm with it. And it certainly gives our women something to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's do this here. We're going to open up the phone lines in just a minute here.
Right. Oh, yeah, we should have done that. Right, let's open up the phone line.
We've got Sister Ali to the top of the hour. We're going to have for a few more minutes here. Give us a call, area code 914-338-1375. Press the number 1 key to put you in queue to bring you on the air. And turn down the computer in the back, listen to the phone. And we just want to let you know that in St. Louis, it's a $20 donation in advance. Tickets are $25 at the door. There'll be a meet and greet and book signing will be held at Afro World Bookstore, which is a very beautiful bookstore. I've been there a couple of times. That's taking place Saturday, October 26th, 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. Okay, so before the lecture. Now, the lecture is going to be held at the Center for Divine Love, located at 3617 Wyoming Street in St. Louis, Missouri. Doors open at 2:30 p.m., and the program starts at 3 p.m., okay? We have the flyer on our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. So you can check it out there, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. If you have any questions, contact Daisha at 314-695-3981, 314-695-3981, or Kevin at 314-600-7337, 314-600-7337, and Shahrazad Ali will be presenting on the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. Okay, let's go to the phone lines here. We're going to go to the 317, the 804, the 313, and then the 917. All right. Call on the 317. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Yes, this is Ronan. How y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing, brother? You all right?
I'm doing very well. I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you have a question or comment?
Yes, I want to say it's an honor and pleasure to be on the show for the first time and to be on the air with Miss Ali. Appreciate your knowledge and your wisdom, and you stirred up some trouble for people.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Did you have a question for her, or you just wanted to thank her?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, in her brutally honest opinion, I expect that, are there any possible suggestions that can help cure ethnic amnesia?
Not any that haven't already been given. Yeah,
Okay.
all the information has been given out. That's a problem that we have, brother. We keep waiting on some kind of new sound in the universe. We waiting on some kind of new person to pop up, some kind of new wording. It's all the information has been given. Knowledge and wisdom has been given for any and all situations that have, that we encounter. We haven't done those, but we tend to think once we've heard something, well, we already tried that. No, we haven't tried everything. We've just heard everything. And so we already have the solutions that have been put out here. We have to teach our children at home. We talk about how the white people miseducate our children. The white people don't miseducate them. We miseducate them before they get to school. Every black child in America by the age of 5 can recognize Superman, Batman, McDonald's, Burger King. They know all of them people. But they don't know Malcolm. They don't know Marcus Garvey. They don't know Elijah Muhammad. They don't know none of the people that they should know. But we teach them all of that other. Now, that's before they get to kindergarten. So we can't just blame them, for miseducating our children. We miseducate them. When we show up with them, they already been miseducated.
Yeah, I agree. And it gets to the point where they don't even know themselves, and it gets worse.
Well, they already don't know then. They don't know when they get there.
Yeah.
So that's, my answer to that.
Oh, okay. I just want to know when you come into Houston. That's all I want to
know. You know what? The Craddock, is it Craddock Bookstore in Houston?
I believe so.
Yeah, they have invited me there, and we're trying to get it worked out right now. So hopefully it'll be before the end of the year. So just keep listening out.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay, brother. Thanks for calling in. Okay.
Anytime.
Okay. Keep listening. Okay. Hotel. Okay. Let's go to the 804 area code. Calling the 804. Tell us your name. Where you calling from?
And now I need to say, wait a minute. This could be
calling 804. Are you there?
So then you can contribute to it.
Okay. I think she's just listening or talking to somebody else. Okay. Calling it. Okay. If you have a question or comment, give us a call. Area code 914-338-1375. Only press the number 1 key if you have a question or comment. Okay. You have to listen to the instructions. Okay. When all else fails, follow directions. I had a 12th grade physics teacher that taught me that. So he used to say.
Oh, brother, Johnny. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing we are doing. Follow instructions Oh my goodness, that's hard for us, That's
Right.
It really is. We have to just keep repeating everything. Right. Repeat means everything. And as I said, we have a problem is that if we heard something before, we think, oh, that's old, that ain't new. But we didn't do it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.